During the course of the Atlantic slave trade, some 12 million Africans were brought to the Western Hemisphere to work on plantations. Another additional 4 million died before arrival, most during the brutal Middle Passage, when they were packed aboard filthy, crowded slave ships. The journey took 4 to 6 weeks, during which heat, cold, and disease levied a heavy toll on the human cargo. They were then taken to the new American colonies in Brazil, the Caribbean, Central America, or the southeastern United States to raise cash crops like sugar, tobacco, rice, indigo, cotton, and coffee. Plantation work was difficult. Enslavers preferred young men between the ages of 14 and 35. Sugar production was the most labor-intensive. In this 1667 engraving, a European supervisor directs slaves on a sugar plantation in Barbados as they haul cane, crush it to extract its juice, boil it to produce molasses, and distill it to make rum. Slaves were vulnerable to cruel treatment, as seen in this drawing of a Portuguese overseer administering a brutal whipping on a bound slave on a plantation near Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The slave trade was part of the larger triangular trade. European ships often undertook voyages of 3 legs. On the first leg, they carried horses and European manufactured goods, especially firearms and alcohol, to Africa, which they exchanged for slaves. The second leg took Africans to Caribbean and American destinations. On arrival, merchants sold their human cargoes to plantation owners for 2 to 3 times what they cost in Africa. They then filled their vessel hulls with American products to take back to Europe. The earliest European slave traders were Portuguese, who began with a mere 12 African men they seized in 1441 and brought back to Portugal. During the course of the slave trade, some 12 million Africans were transported to the Americas, while another 4 million died on the Middle Passage or in holding pens on the African coast. In 1803, Denmark was the first European country to abolish the slave trade, followed by Great Britain in 1807, the United States in 1808, France in 1814, Netherlands in 1817, and Spain in 1845. Although the slave trade was abolished, slavery would continue in the Americas until 1888, when the last country, Brazil, would abolish the institution.